It took me 4 years to find my art style, and I still feel like I have a long way to go. But looking back at those 4 years, I think the thing that held me back the most was the idea that art style is just the way we draw, that there's nothing more to it. And if we wanted to learn a new art style, we had to learn a new way of drawing. And maybe there is some truth to that. Maybe a part of art style can be summed up in such a way. But when I looked at it like that, I felt like I was drowning in a sea of endless decisions. Should I draw eyes bigger, noses smaller? Should I use sharp edges or soft edges, saturated colors or desaturated colors? I was seeing artists around me using these different things to make their art style stand out, so surely I could try that, right? And the answer is yeah, but I needed a little bit more direction. I was doing things because I felt like they were the right things to do. Everything that I was testing was sort of baseless. I was doing it just because I felt like I needed to do that. I didn't have any direction. What I was doing was the equivalent of throwing uncooked spaghetti at a wall and being surprised when it didn't stick. So I delved in deeper to what art style really is. I spent a really long time trying to figure out what it really meant. Beyond just, hey, this is what our art looks like. And after months of struggling, I began to realize that it isn't this complicated monster that all artists must face, but instead a journey of self-discovery. I realized that art style is fundamentally just a collection of our personal preferences. It's what we like to see in our art and the processes that feel fulfilling and comfortable for us. And understanding this gave me a jumping off point that changed everything. I began critiquing my own work. I made a list of the things I liked and I leaned into those. And I made a list of the things I didn't like and I worked on improving them and experimenting with them. At the same time, I began consuming others' artwork obsessively. I had and still do have a board on Pinterest full of just art that I love. But I don't just look at it. I was observing it and studying it. I was picking apart the elements I liked about their work and studying those things, trying to apply them to my own work. I was experimenting with the different styles I was seeing. I was playing with different brushes, textures, colors, making note of everything I liked and didn't like. I was fine-tuning my preferences. No longer was I drowning in decisions. I had a map in the form of my likes and dislikes. If I didn't feel connected or fulfilled by a style I studied, I made note of that. And if I loved part of the process or a new way of doing things, I made note of that too. I was building up a mental library of things that worked for me and the things that didn't in an organized way I never would have been able to if I hadn't allowed myself to be fueled by my preferences. I made a lot of pieces and studies I didn't like. I cried a lot and I felt frustrated. I backtracked to my comfort zone a few times. But I learned invaluable information about what I want my work to look like, and what felt like an authentic representation of who I was and who I wanted to be as an artist. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. And in hindsight, it was the most exciting time in my journey as an artist because I really felt like I was finding myself. Now my work is at a place where I feel confident. I definitely want to keep adjusting my style as I grow my skill set. But that, I found, is the beautiful thing about art style. It's constantly evolving as we evolve. Our preferences will change over time, and as they do, our style will change too. Those changes will be a reflection of our growth. In the beginning, no one likes their art style because we don't have the information that we need to like our art style. So wherever you are in your art journey, trust that your style is growing every time you create. Every time you experiment with a new medium or a new style, you're fine-tuning your preferences and your unique style will grow from that. It's not quick. It's not always easy, but you are worthy of the time it takes to find your art style and a way of creating that feels authentic to you. So go out there and study art. critique your own work, and experiment endlessly. I hope this helped if you're struggling on your art journey, and I hope that you know that you're not alone. If you enjoyed this video and you want to support, drop a like or subscribe, and with that, I will see you in the next one.